That's right. Here at Mowers and Blowers, we push them into the garage and they come out driving. Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Welcome to another episode. Another gorgeous day. Man, it's unbelievable. I gotta water my lawn like twice a day now because there's been no rain for quite a while. Anyway, as you saw from yesterday's episode, I started working on that Nightmare Frankenmower is what I'm gonna call it. Nightmare Frankenmower Lt1000 I got for free from Nick from Medford. I changed the front end yesterday, which was very interesting because I'd never swapped out a front end before. I've only removed them from tractors, but I've never actually swapped them out. It's a good feeling to have to get a tractor that's like in complete disarray, right? And then tear it apart, put the front end back on there, and now the steering is smooth, it's crisp, it doesn't tow out, it's stable, feels pretty solid, you know. Pumped up the tires and now it rolls nicely. You know, from it being dug out from the ground is what Nick said he did. And for it to now smoothly roll around, it's a good feeling. I asked on yesterday's episode whether or not I should get that going. Or should I just part it out and strip it for parts, right? The thing is, I've stripped out a lot of Lt1000s before, and I have a lot of parts already, which almost makes this Frankenmower a great candidate for using those spare parts and putting one together. You know what I mean? I still have to decide what I want to do about an engine, and I have three choices. One, I can get an intake valve for my 13.5 flathead, the one that I had the grinded down valves. Well, I actually have an exhaust valve, but I don't have an intake valve. And also, even if I did replace the valves, there's no guarantee that thing will run anyway. You know what I mean? Because remember, I had fabricated a valve guide sleeve on my own, unintentionally. It was by accident. So I don't know how that's holding up. So that engine may be Dunsky. Not sure. So I don't really want to go and spend money on valves if I can't, you know, I don't have high confidence that it'll work, you know. My second option is to take the Jamal a la Tete engine out, right? It's a 20.5 Kohler V twin. And I'm going to put that on the Nightmare. What am I calling that again? The Nightmare Frankenmower. That would work because it has a rear gas tank. And that engine has a fuel pump, right? So that might work. Third idea is I could take the Kohler Command off of the Scott's Murray hauler and put that on there. Either way, I'm not sure. My friend Mike from Mike's Lawn Service _ Babylon is here. He's bringing me two things. And I'm giving him some Earl. As a matter of fact, he just pulled up. As you guys saw, that was Mike. He's a good kid. He was the guy who gave me this red thing, you know. Of course, you know, it wasn't red before. The Lt1000 with the flooded engine, you know, the water in the engine. It took me like 4 or 5 episodes to get that done. And he's been following that video, and he's like, I can't believe that's what I gave you, you know what I mean? And I says, well, look, I mean, it still took a lot of work, you know what I mean? And I have yet to sell that yet, too, you know? But anyway, he's a good guy. He was around the area doing some stuff. He needed some oil, so I gave him a few quarts of SAE 30 for his lawnmower. Which, by the way, I think I sold him a lawnmower. Super cheap, though, like half price. It's a good mower. Anyway, so he brought me this. I don't think we're ever going to get snow in New York City, Long Island, ever. At least not enough to use a snowblower. Do you know what's happening around here? I'll tell you what. So I've got like 10 snowblowers, right? Most of them are dual stage, right? man, in the heart of winter, I had them listed between $350 and $800. You know what I mean? Now you look on Craigslist and all those other, apps, Let Go, Facebook Marketplace, you'll see like $600-800 dual stage big snowblowers going for like $150. And you ready for this? They don't sell. Nobody wants them. You couldn't sell it for $100. And I'll tell you why. Because really, they don't think we're going to get any more snow ever again because of climate change. That is, if you believe in climate change. And you'd be, honestly, look at the science. You're an idiot if you don't believe in climate change, okay? Water levels are going up around the world. Glaciers are melting. Those poor polar bears up north, they don't have anywhere to float. They're drowning in the sea because there ain't no more glaciers to float on. So that's proof right there, okay? Water levels are rising. And the environment, man, it's just getting hotter and hotter. The winters are getting more mild because of the warm water around the coast. Long Island is surrounded by water, right? The warmer water rises into the air, and while everybody around us may get snow, the warm rising air causes us to get sleet or very little snow, This is all a theory of mine, of course. I'm not a meteorologist, although I wouldn't mind being one someday. So this is, it kind of is in decent shape, you know what I mean? Except for the cutout hole over here to access the spark plug. I don't know why he didn't just take the cover off and mess with it, but that's what people do, The only good thing about this one here is a free key. This key fits all the lawn tractors, at least the Craftsman's. Free key. Also, free gas cap. This gas cap fits most lawn tractor Craftsman gas tanks, which I could use. Shoot, all this and that. I think maybe I could get this started, actually. It's a Tecumseh, and it leaks. So the minute he said that the fuel leaks, I go, it's got to be a Tecumseh. Sure enough, it is. He also brought me this thing. This, fellas, is very interesting, and I'll tell you why. Number one, I've never seen one like this before. It's a backpack leaf blower, obviously, right? It's called a Windmill by Vandermolen. Okay, so I studied, well, I didn't study. I had a few classes on genealogy and world history and where names originated from. And I'll tell you just from the education that I've had that Vandermolen, right, is a Dutch name. Maybe derived from way early in the German days, maybe. Way back, way back. We're talking like the Last Kingdom type, that way back, So Vandermolen, Dutch, the Netherlands, right? And the name of this is Vandermolen Windmill 540 BT. So it's a backpack blower, and you ready for this? It's got a Kawasaki engine on it. Kawasaki engine, cool. So I'm looking at it, right? And it looks pretty complete, with the exception of this chute over here, right? It's missing the front part, but I could probably fabricate something to get it to work, with a handle as it swivels, right? But other than that, it seems like it's in pretty good shape. So this is, I used to be a police officer, so I'm going to use some of my evidence and investigative logic behind this, okay? What if, well, first of all, I think this is rare. I've never seen one nor heard of it, right? So the guy that probably owned it is pretty well off, because a Kawasaki engine, something Dutch, that's kind of rare, this is probably pretty expensive. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking, all right? And so if the guy can afford this, probably has some good money, which means he really doesn't really care. If this doesn't work, he would just throw it out. You know what I mean? What if he was using it and this handle broke? And he's like, oh, the handle broke. I guess it's going into the garbage. And he just threw it out, and it just works. It's just that he has a broken handle. That's it. Maybe that's it. Well, I could just cut here and cut here, and use this as a handle. That's just for the hell of it. Okay, I would say that down is idle, high is throttle. That's what I would think. There's also gas in here. Oh, what an interesting little primer bulb. It is priming. I do feel fuel. It's got to be an ignition cutoff or something, no? Maybe. I didn't see any. So I'm priming it. I feel fuel sucking. Man, it's got a huge fuel line intake. Look how thick that is, you know? Button feels good. This has got to be the return line. It goes back in there. But I don't see any wires or anything that looks like a fuel shutoff, you know? I mean, ignition kill, you know?
Henry, get out of the way. We can't see.
Well, I got to figure this out, don't I?
Henry, stop screwing around and pull it.
All right. How about that? Did you guys hear it turn over? I felt like I heard it turn over. Okay. It's definitely that. So we know it has spark. Ooh, you know what? Here we go. There's a lever here. Is that choke? What the hell? Look at that. Look at this idle, man. Holy cow. I should be promoted to detective because apparently my theory on this thing holds true. There's nothing wrong with this thing except for the thing that's missing here and this handle. Started right up. I didn't have the choke on. That's, you know, after I figured out where the choke was, you know what I mean? But how about that? How about that, huh? I will tell you this, though. It's not very powerful. You can just tell by the size of it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, I compare it to my Red Max, which you can never compare to a Red Max. That Red Max will spin me around, man, when I have that on. It is also missing the backpack straps. You know, you can't strap it to yourself or anything, you know? Oh, maybe it's because this thing is broken, huh? When this thing broke, the straps came off of the handle. Got to get some straps. I'll go find like an old backpack or something from my kid's school. Put those on here. But how about it? A Vandermolen Windmill 540 BT. Works just like that. Kawasaki engine, baby. Be interesting to list this online and see the bites. If not, maybe I'll fix it and get it to work and use it or something. But no, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to keep this. I already have a Red Max. Hey, I think this might be the longest monologue I've ever had. It could be. Anyway, I've got so much to do, fellas. I mean, I got to loosen up the deck off that Lt1000. I got to try to unseize the blades and the spindles and stuff, right? And then, of course, I've got crates and crates of engine parts, you know, that Nick from Medford gave me. I gotta try to figure out whether or not I could build a 17.5 or 18.5 engine from all the parts that I'm getting. Speaking of that, I'm headed over to Bob and Larry's house right now because he's got an 18.5 engine too, and also like a push mower he wants to give me. I have to bring him some Lucas oil products because that guy has been selling tractors like a mother. He sold 18 tractors in the past 3 weeks. 18 tractors. Is that unbelievable or what? So he's been going through the product that I've been giving him. You know, between him and Nick, right, they use more Lucas oil product than I do. So I'm essentially supplying them with the product because I'm not really using all that much. I mean, I use some, but I don't use a lot like they do, you know. So I'm bringing him some product, and he's going to give me some more crap. I'm getting a lot of crap, and I don't know what to do with it. I almost want to say, let me put all the crap together into a bunch, right, and just sell it in bulk, you know, to some nut who doesn't have a lot of crap. There's people out there looking for crap. I just happen to get all the crap, though. You know what I mean? And not enough time to fix all of them. I just can't. I don't have time. I'm working on tractors like the Franken nightmare, you know? Anyway, so I'm gonna spray some. I'm gonna try working on that deck for now, but I have to go eat some eggs. My wife made me some breakfast, but I haven't eaten it yet. I'll be right back. When you have breakfast, you feel sleepy afterwards. So, I'm not going to Larry and Bobby's house right now. Some nut wants to see this red tractor, and he's coming over with $500 in his pocket. He texted me, and he says on Facebook Marketplace, and he says, I have this listed for $675. He says, would you take $500? And I'm thinking to myself, if you come and get it right now, you can have it for $500. I know that seems like a low price for Henry, but honestly, the reason why we paid it is because there's rust all over the place, you know? While the engine runs good and it drives and it mows good, right? $500 is already pushing the envelope, so I guess I'm pretty happy with $500, you know? So anyway, if the guy makes it over here, if we can get into his pickup truck, I'll sell this for $500 today. What a bargain! Hope it starts. If a guy's coming to look at it, you could at least kind of wipe it down from the dust so that he's even more impressed. You know what I mean? Gotta do your due diligence, and it would be prudent for you to do as much as you can to increase the chances of a sale. Also, because it's used equipment, you always need to preface a disclaimer prior to selling it to the buyer. You say, so listen, before you give me that money, just want to let you know I'm just a guy in a garage, right? With a mower. I drive it out here, show it to you, run it. You like how it works, and you like it, you pay me the agreed price, you take it away. The minute you pay me, you own it. It's yours. I'm not Home Depot. I'm not Lowe's. There is no returns, no refunds. All sales are completely final. I'll be a nice guy and steer you in the right direction if you have a problem, but it really is no longer my responsibility. I provide a machine that you're satisfied with in the onset. Whatever happens to it after it leaves me, I have nothing to do with. That's what you have to say. I mean, you don't have to say it like that, but you have to let them get the gist of it, you know? That's it. That's all I'm doing. Let's see if we sell it. So we're finally getting to the deck. I feel like I've had an entire episode already just giving you the monologue in the morning, you know? I tell you, it's a busy day for me all the time. Every day I'm busy. What would I be doing if I had a job? Anyway, yesterday when I went to pick up that power washer off the street, same place I got that Yardmachines push mower, via Frank, the UPS guy who gave me both tips. That guy's great, isn't he? He came by yesterday. I was telling him about the story, and he needed some Lucas product, and I gave it to him. So I am slowly but surely just giving away all my supply. But that's okay, you know. That's what Lucas wants. Lucas wants me to be an ambassador to their brand. Introduce the brand to all these people, you know what I mean? When I give away this product to my friends, they use it all the time. They swear by it. They tell other people that's what they use. Other people go and buy it. It's all about branding, right? I'm helping Lucas market this stuff, you know? I might have to ask for more stuff. Anyway, when I was over there to get the power washer, right? This crate of softballs and baseballs was sitting there. Do you know how much a softball costs brand new? Go look it up. 11-inch fast pitch, right? It's like $5 to $8 a ball. Well, my daughter, she plays softball for the local high school here. She's on the team, right? My son was varsity baseball for the same high school before he graduated. Not that we need the baseballs anymore, but could always have baseballs, right? There's like a dozen perfectly good softballs here. Scores! So yesterday, before I went in, I sprayed this area here with some penetrating oil from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. Got a breaker bar here, see, with a 9/16 socket. Just going to try to turn it, and it moves, but it's just tightening the thing. So I don't want to strip it, because if you strip it, it'll suck. As you can see, it's not moving. It wants to loosen. So the brake things are on the pulleys. See, the brakes are touching the pulleys, so the pulleys can't turn. So I'm going to have to loosen that somehow. This is the tension arm right here. And somehow I need to loosen this up, because it's all seized and it won't move. How am I going to do this and not break something, you know? Because you don't want to bang here, because you don't want to bend the pulley, right? Here is where the arm is, I believe. So I'm going to get a hammer and chisel. Before I do that, this is the plate here that moves. It's no wonder you go through this penetrating oil like crazy, you know? I'm just going to tap this. See if it moves. Ooh, there we go. Now that this moved back, right, this is the engaged position. I'm going to flood the area that it vacated with some more lube. Damn, if it takes that much just to move it around, I can imagine how rusted up this is, you know? I'm going to work it back again. Then I'm going to try to turn the, because the brake would be off of the pulley, so I'm free to move it around without breaking anything. It's getting better. This is a bigger nut here. I'm going to try another socket. Let's see. I got this set from Harbor Freight. Okay, now I have a 7/8 socket on a breaker bar. I have it's even a longer breaker bar, you know? The longer the breaker bar, the better the leverage. So tension arm is disengaged, so the brake is off the pulley. So there's nothing holding that pulley except for rust. I'm turning it clockwise because clockwise is tightening the bolt. If I turned it counterclockwise, I might loosen the bolt and it won't move anywhere. It's not really moving anyway, but it's starting to though. See, it's stuck right there. It won't go any more than that unless I force it. We're making progress. It's actually moving, you know what I mean? So you know what I'm going to do? If you look at this one here, I have to actually remove this keeper guard because it's going to get in the way of the bolt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it some more with some Earl. I gotta like bend the straw. Bend the knee. If you refuse to bend the knee, then I shall cut off your head. All right, I guess I'm going to bend my knee. I mean, you really don't want your head cut off. I mean, that would definitely be a bad day, for sure. For sure, dude. Maybe I should take, I should take that guard off. Oh, you know what? That guy's here to see the tractor. So, as you guys saw, Vin Diesel came and bought my red tractor. He was a nice guy. Same thing happened to him that happened to the other guy that came to look at the red LT1000. It wouldn't start after I ran it for a bit, right? It wouldn't start again. So I found out what it was. The choke linkage gets stuck there, you know? And so it was on choke the whole time. So that's why it wouldn't start again, you know? So I took the air cleaner off and just pulled the choke open and it ran just fine. So the guy watched me do it, you know? So he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll just put some oil there, whatever, you know?" And so he liked it. He bought it. Gave me $500. And I gave him a coupon for the $39.99 Harbor Freight Tools ramps because we used my ramps to get it onto his truck. And then I said to him, "How are you going to get it off your truck when you get home?" And he's like, "I'm going to have to buy those ramps." And so I sent him a coupon. Hopefully he can use it. So he's off to get that. So I got rid of the red machine. I feel a little better that I got rid of it, you know. I just need to clear out some space, you know. As you guys know, every day I'm getting new machines here and there. I just don't have any time for it. I know that my friend Nick from Lindenhurst, 5-Speed Ash, wanted me to do some leaf blowers. Well, I've got 3. I've got the steel that I got from Larry. That doesn't start, right? I think it's a green weed eater, and then I got a Craftsman from my mailman's cousin. And so I've got 3 leaf blowers that I really don't want to work on. So I'm thinking about just taking a picture of all 3, right? And saying like $50, you know? So that some guy would just come and take them all away. I don't have to work on them. Get $50 for it. The snowblower that Mike just brought over, that Yardmachines single stage, carburetor was flooded with water because I took some carburetor cleaner and shot it into the carburetor, pulled it like 3 or 4 times, and water was shooting out of the muffler, right? And then what happened? I sprayed some more. It ran and started. Can you believe it? So I actually could get that going now that I know I could get it going. I could get it going, you know? And then that backpack blower, that's awesome. So listen, I was thinking about keeping the backpack blower at my mom's house in Queens, you know, because the steel leaf blower from Larry was over at my mom's, but it never started. It never worked when I needed it to, you know, so I brought it back. So she doesn't have a gas leaf blower over there. I can fix the backpack blower, put some straps on it, find a tube, bring it to my mom's house. So I might keep that Vandermolen Windmill backpack blower. I might keep it. Back to this. I have a feeling today's episode is going to be very long because there's a lot of stuff going on today, you know? So look, this one over here moves okay. Still not that good, but it moves better than that one. That one, I think the bearings are so rusted shut that things are grinding in there. So unfortunately, I don't think I could salvage these spindles. Maybe the spindles are okay, but I might have to take out the shaft, you know, and replace the bearings. That's kind of a pain. Also, these blades are like discombobulated, you know what I mean? This one's pointed in the wrong direction and bent, and it's like 2 inches missing from this one, you know? So these blades are Dunsky! I know you guys like saying Dunsky. I know you do. Anyway, so look. I'm just letting it percolate some more with this penetrating oil right around that area. I don't think it's going to work because I think the bearings are just Dunsky. So I'm just going to let it soak for a little bit. I'm going to go to Larry's house to see Larry and Bobby because Larry says he's got like a bunch of new blades. Not new blades, but definitely better blades than this for the LT1000, right? Because he used to collect LT1000s at one time, so he's got like an arsenal of parts. Also, because this Nick from Medford cut the deck belt to get it off, right? I'm going to need a new deck belt, right? So I'm going to take this and the blades with me to Larry and Bobby's place. And I think Larry's going to give me a belt and some blades. And maybe he's got some spindles too, huh? Anyway, I won't know unless I go over to their house and find out. So my next stop, Larry and Bobby's. So, a change in the plans. I'm not going to Bobby and Larry's because when I called them, they show up right there. They had to go do something around this area, so he says he's coming over now. What's happening, fellas?
Almost. You thought about it for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, I got carb cleaner.
I've had it with this COVID thing, man.
Good.
Like I told you, I went to my friend's house and stuff, and it was fine, you know?
You should. More people should.
That's right. Here at Mowers and Blowers, it's not just business. We sometimes have fun too. Larry always brings me good stuff. Today he brought me this Craftsman Lt1000 6.6 horsepower. It's got a Tecumseh engine in it. And what's funny is my friend Robert Nighthawk, he sent me a picture of this thing he was working on with a customer or something. And he showed me this, and he says, have you ever seen that primer mechanism and throttle on the right-hand side like that before? And I says, I've never seen it before, and look at here. I got one too. Larry brought it to me. He just pull started and it worked. What did you do? You just pulled it?
Are you recording?
Yeah. So it seems like it's just the self-propulsion that's bad. It runs just fine. And he brought me some blades. These are nice too. This one's decent. Thanks, Larry.
No problem, Henry. Pal. Thank Bobby too.
What did I do?
So it looks like I'm gonna have to remove the top nuts off the pulley, take the pulley off, and try to bang the shaft out because the bearings are messed up. I'll show you how hard it is to turn. This one's when you get to around here, it doesn't want to turn. It's a lot of resistance, you know? This one here is better, but still some resistance. So the bearings are shot on that spindle, so I'm going to get my half-inch impact and get those nuts off. Let's see if I can get it off with the blades off, because I'm thinking the whole thing is just going to spin, you know what I mean? I almost have to have the blade on there and put like a block of wood on the bottom for me to be able to do that, but let's see. Maybe it won't work. Yay! That's one. Oh, by the way, it's torque nuts that go in here that holds the keeper together, the pulley cover, right? And it's so close to this plastic here that you can't get any sockets in there. You got to use a torqued bit with a long extension on your impact to get it off. And even then, it's like maybe, you know, this one's stripped, so I couldn't get it off, so I have to just bend it like that. Whatever way works. I got a feeling it's spinning along with it, you know? So this one's not going to work. I might have to put the blade back on the top. You know? I mean the bottom. Success! Success! I tell you, success! Alright. Let's get these pulleys off, man. I believe I could just bang these out. But you gotta put the nut back on, because then you'll mushroom out the stud. You know, the top. There we go. I mean, I don't know. I think it's down. Yeah, looks like it. So I got both nuts off the top pulleys. The pulleys are off. I banged it down. I had to put the blades back on there to grab a hold of it while using the impact to get the nut off. So let's see. Here we go. There's the shaft. And there's the shaft. You know what? I bet you if I just grind that down clean, it might work. I gotta check the bearings. So you know what it is? The top, each shaft has two bearings. The top bearing and the bottom bearing, right? Both of the top bearings are good. You can move them with your hands freely. Fingers in here, right? And I'm turning it freely. It's smooth. What's bad is the two bottom bearings. They're seized, see? So I'm going to bang those out with a big screwdriver. I got a big screwdriver, see? Now I'm just gonna stick it in the hole and try to bang out the bottom bearing. Do a pivot like this. I know I got it into where the bearings are. It's not as easy as I thought. Uh-oh. Let's see what this looks like. Ah, see? It's going to be difficult to get this out. I'll work on it. Success! Success! I tell you, success! Just takes a little bit of elbow grease, fellers. I used this chisel over here, see? Fit right through the hole of the top bearing. And I just took this sledgehammer and whacked it a bunch of times. And these old bearings came out. Look how rusted they are on the inside. So that's all I need, right? Is the top bearings are okay. The bottom bearings are trash. These bearings actually are done. So I need new bearings. And actually the shafts are good. They're straight. They just need to be grinded down, the rust over here, right? And then greased. The threads are pretty good. It's okay, actually. It's not great, but it's okay. I kind of stripped it a little bit over here. Larry gave me 4 new blades. They're not new, but they're in good shape, you know? So, I think that's all I have to do. Let's get a couple of bearings is all. But, we did figure out the deck today, and while I would have loved it if they were fine, you know, that I didn't need to do this, and I don't need new bearings, and I wish that just the penetrating oil would have freed it up and I would have been done. But you know what? This is the Nightmare Frankenmower. You can't expect things to be easy for you. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So this is going to take some doing, but you know what? We're going to do it. I'm going to do it. This is probably going to be a 20-episode series on this Nightmare Frankenmower. But that's it for today. We did quite a bit. At least I feel like I did quite a bit. Took the whole deck apart, you know, loosened it up a bit. Need a couple of bearings. Got a visit from my boys, Larry and Bobby. They brought me over another mower. Sold my tractor today, the red Lt1000. Got a visit from Mike, from Mike's Lawn Service, Babylon. Got a snowblower, got that backpack blower, which I think is very cool, right? And then the Eager 1 push mower too. And I'm running low on Lucas oil supply. I might have to reorder pretty soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to go order a couple of bearings. I don't think they cost too much money. And maybe we'll be able to put this deck together shortly. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes of the Nightmare Frankenmower. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.